Another week and another trip to the finals for Owen Turnwald.
Yeah, this is going really well.
I'll say. Now, running back the Obs-on control list, is this the deck you would play for any big standard event that you had to play right now?
I actually did play a big standard event this past weekend. There was an event 20 minutes from my house. It was like 50K prize pool, so I went and played that. I played the exact list there that I am playing here, and yeah, I've been liking it quite a bit actually.
How did you finish up? This is the TCG Player Invitational you're talking about, right?
My final record was 7-5, which is not stellar, but I went 5-2 on the first day. Things went well, and then on the second day, I felt like a lot of my games that I lost were out of my control, and I felt happy with the deck regardless of the result.
Okay.
Are you going to run it back in Charlotte?
Are you asking me if I'm going to play with Death Mist Raptor and Siege Rhino in a modern tournament? That's supposed to be an attempt at humor?
From Luis? Never. You are going to Charlotte.
Yes, I am.
Do you? What's your take on Modern? We've been talking Modern with a lot of people over the course of the day.
I have tried many decks in Modern and have been unsuccessful with all of them. So back to the grindstone with Modern. I don't have good advice right just yet.
Grindstone's actually not legal in Modern.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's part of my problem.
You played, what, Infect at the last Pro Tour?
Yes, I did.
Is that just not a place you want to be these days?
Well,
that seems pretty good then.
I thought it was awesome then. That was obviously off the hard work of Tom the Boss Ross. And I thought the deck was literally great. I thought it was an awesome choice. But now there's a commonly played deck that has Malira in the main deck with Collected Company and Court of Calling to go get it at a moment's notice. So when people just randomly have one of the best hate cards in their main deck, it's really hard to justify playing Infect.
I'll buy that. Now, talk to me about this matchup with Brad. You played him in the finals last week, right? He had the same Green-Red Devotion list. You had the same Obs-on control list. He got you there, but you got him here. It seemed pretty close, though. Is this just one of the close matchups in Standard for your deck?
It is a close matchup. I find it to be a really uninteresting kind of stupid matchup to play because from my side, it's always as if one thing kind of goes a little bit wrong. Like last week, you have end hostilities, you can clear the board, but then they top deck a card like Xenagos and they kind of run away with the game. And this week, it kind of played out in a way where I was able to Thoughtseize his threats, end hostilities all his creatures, downfall the Planeswalker, and then he just happened to draw mana. Like, if you look at the layout of his deck and put it into two piles of mana and cards that are not mana, it's usually 40 pieces of mana or 35, 25. And so it all depends on what comes off the top of the deck at the right time once I use my removal to trade with his threats. And this week I was lucky that he drew mostly lands afterwards, or when he drew Ugin, it was a card that I could still beat.
Yeah, that Ugin almost got him back into it at the end, but yeah. He even drew a Tarka with his next draw phase, but was down to 6 mana right before he scooped. Interesting little match. Now, do you have any thoughts on who you'd rather play in the finals here between Kenji and Tom?
Nope.
Have you looked at those decks at all? It's going to be dragons one way or the other is how this plays out.
No, I'm going to view my next match the same as I've viewed every match in this Super League so far. Is I'm just going to close my eyes and try my best to win.
Been working so far.
Yeah, luck has been on my side, no doubt about that.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with all those points?
I'm going to try to get to 1,000.
Yeah, you're almost there.
You can actually get to 200.
Nice.
I like. If you need a goal.
200 is a nice even round number. I like it. I'm going to go for that.
All right. You just need to win the next 4 matches.
All right.
The good news is that then comes with a week off. Actually, you get a week off either way. So you have definitely clinched the 1 seed. You definitely get to buy into the finals. We talked about the finals are unified standard, so you can't bring 3 Obs-on decks to the finals. That's the bad news.
I actually joked with a friend the other day that I was going to play 3 mono red decks, and I was going to line them up so that it was 1 of, 1 of, 2 of, 2 of, 1 of, 1 of, 1 of, 2 of, 1 of. So they were all the same deck, top down, mono red, all 3 decks, but just slightly adjusted.
That would be
That's
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unified Standard is the finals format for those of you guys who are watching out there. That's 3 out of 5 matches. That'll be true both in the semifinals, where it's the 2 seed versus the 3 seed, and then in the finals, where it'll be Owen versus whoever is left standing at that point.
So what does that mean? 3 out of 5. I play any of my decks any number of times. And
You know, we just looked at it. So, the truth is, I went back and I looked at what I said at the beginning of the season, and it's ambiguous. So we have to decide either it is deck A, deck B, deck C, and then choose anything you want for the 4th deck, choose anything you want, or for the 4th match, choose anything you want from the 5th match. That's, I guess, the default because that's the way we did it in Vintage Super League, where we kind of modeled the playoff format off of. The other way we could do it, though, is we could say that you choose a deck and you keep playing it until it loses. And then once it loses a match, then it's dead. You can never choose it again. And then effectively, each of your decks is a life point. And first guy to have all of their decks die is the loser.
Well, I could be wrong, but that might be bad because it's exploitable. Like, let's say I play Abzan as my first deck, and then I win. They just know they're paired against Abzan, so they just pick their other deck that is good against the deck that they thought I would play. So they can make it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's why.
I don't know if it matters just because you have to play all the matches anyways. But.
Right. Yeah, the alternative is you wind up with this kind of ghost noodly thing where when you're trying to figure out what to play in match number 4, you have all 3 to choose from, but they have all 3 of theirs to choose from, and you know what their best deck is, so you can play the one that's good against their best deck. But that's probably more interesting than just, I know exactly what my matchup is. I'm going to choose the deck that's good in that matchup.
Yeah.
All right, so we've decided you're going to put your 3 decks in an order. You're going to pick an A, B, and a C, and then after you've played those 3 matches, if you haven't already won 3 times, you can play any deck in match 4 and any deck in match 5.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks for chatting with us. We're ready to find you a finals opponent. We are going to head down to the semifinals now, find out if it's going to be Tom the Boss Ross or if it's going to be Kenji Egashira.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Let's head down to the match. The Boss is on the bottom with the Green-Red Dragons deck. The Nummy is on the top with the Naya Dragons deck, and he's the one with the Elvish Mystic, but Elvish Mystic 5-land and an Atarkus, probably a keeper, but maybe not an exciting one.
It's a keeper. You're hoping to scry into another piece of acceleration.
Oh yeah, the lands help that draw a lot, don't they?
They do. Tom doesn't have any acceleration, but he's got 3-drop, 3-drop, and 4-drop, plus Crater's Claws, which is probably going to get pointed at this Elvish Mystic here. And it looks like Tom's on the play too, so Tom gets to play his turn on land go, and then Kenji plays the Elvish Mystic. Then Tom immediately just toasts it.
All right, if you weren't with us earlier, Kenji Egashira is subbed in for Paul Cheon this week. Paul had a family emergency, unfortunately could not make it tonight. So Kenji's tagging in, and whatever points Kenji wins, they get credited toward Paul's score for the season. So Paul, I'm sure, rooting for Kenji to do well, and Kenji, so far, so good.
Yeah, we didn't want to find someone who was much better than Paul because that'd be a disadvantage to the rest of the league. But we kept looking.
Like Frolik or something.
Yeah, but the problem is we kept looking and we found no one plausible. So we ended up just getting someone better than him anyway and getting Kenji. So.
Luis says it's hard to find somebody worse than Paul Cheon. Got it.
Kenji actually might show us the power of Hidden Dragon Slayer here. Its power has been very hidden. In fact, so hidden it has been not apparent at all. But it looks like Tom actually
flexibility. We've seen it as both a face down 2/2 and also a face up creature. That's what it's shown us so far.
But yeah, exactly. But Tom is going to play a Thunderbreak region presumably at some point, and that is going to make the Hidden Dragon Slayer a lot more appealing.
And Kenji just keeps finding dragons.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Kenji, actually. The worst case scenario for Tom is that he draws a land here and plays Thunderbreak. The best case scenario actually is drawing Roast is actually surprisingly good.
He's going to flip Den Protector for a fetch land and make his land drop and presumably roast the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, that worked out quite nicely. All right, that is a setback for Kenji for sure.
Yeah. And Den Protector chips over for 3.
Xenogod. Not really what you're looking for here, though. Kenji
He's a
can.
thing that can be played before turn 6.
Kenji, I would probably bin the Valorous stance here. Kenji can play turn 5 Xenogod, turn 6 Dromoka attack for 10.
That seems okay.
Yeah, that's a nice little line.
Still doesn't have the 7th mana, though, does he?
Or the 6, actually.
Oh, right, he's on 5. So he's set up to play Xenogod next turn, but
So
really needs at least a 6th mana and preferably a 7th.
So Kenji goes to 14. Tom plays Thunderbreak. Kenji untaps, goes to 13 off Windswept Heath, plays Xenogod. Tom maybe plays Stormbreath and attacks him into 2, but then he gets hit back for 10 of Dromoka. It's going to be close, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
And this is predicated on Kenji drawing untapped land. So it looks like Tom is not going to play Thunderbreak here.
Goes Death Mist instead? What's the logic there?
I assume to play around Valorous Stance or another Hidden Dragon Slayer.
Got it.
Looks like our dreams of turn 6 attacking Dromoka are not going to happen. But it wouldn't anyway, as Corsair reveals Xenoghost, so.
Second God-flavored version, too. Corsair not a particularly effective blocker here.
No, cannot block either morph.
So basically, Kenji needs the card under Xenogod to be a land?
Well, he gets to crack Windswept Heath, so he's got a couple bites of the apple here.
Sure.
But yeah, he needs his either top card after the Windswept Heath shuffle or the next card to be an untapped land to play Dromoka, at which point Kenji's at 9, at 8, no, at 9 still, 10 after he plays a land. Yeah, that's not that bad, especially if Tom can't actually play Stormbreath here. So Tom, presumably running the Thunderbreak here. Though he could run Corsair, I suppose.
That's what I was looking at.
I like just running Thunderbreak here. It attacks. At this point, if Kenji has Valorous Stance and has to take 3 end of turn to kill it, doesn't seem all that great.
All right, here's the Windswept Heath shuffle. There is a land now on top of Kenji's library. Doesn't get a land on top. Doesn't get the free land from the Corsair, but does get the life and does get Dragon Lord Dromoka.
Tom really needs to draw an untapped land here, and he did. Because now he can play Stormbreath, which again can keep Dromoka back, though Atarka is now threatening to seal the deal.
Not that Tom knows that, but he fears it.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you're playing against a deck that has a bunch of Atarkas in it, you always feel like they have an Atarka if they hit 7. The key is once they hit 7.
All right, Death Mist Raptor and its Death Touch ability heading over. Kenji not interested in trading Dromoka for Death Mist Raptor. Not even with a 5 life bribe and a backup in his hand. And here's a Stormbreath Dragon. Stormbreath job, hold off Dromoka. No 7th land. 7th land would have been gigantic there.
7th land would have just been game, or at least been very close to game. As is, I don't think Kenji's in terrible shape. Let's see, if Kenji plays Sylvan Keratin, just passes the turn. Next turn, Raptor comes in along with Stormbreath, maybe? But if Stormbreath comes in, you definitely get to attack with Dromoka. And you can chump the Raptor at that case. Yeah, I like... It feels weird playing a 2-drop when you have 6-drop, 5-drop, 7-drop in hand and 6 mana, but I think it's the play, especially since you know you're not drawing anything next turn.
Right. And that's what he does. Now, Burn Spell off the top from Tom is pretty scary. Right? Yeah. Protection from White Stormbreath can just attack and drop Kenji to 3. So basically, Any burn spell wins this.
Like
For example, Draconic Roar, indeed. That's just game, right?
it should be.
Is there anything Kenji might have that Tom could be playing around now?
Not in game one. Post-board games, you have to worry about something like Plummet, but in game one...
All right, there is the protection from White Stormbreath, earning his keep. Attacking through Dromica.
And Draconic Roar will do it.
Wow. For want of one land. Kenji finds that 7th land and goes to Tarka last turn to kill the Stormbreath and attack with Dromica. He just wins.
Yeah, he's at 12 instead of 3.
Yeah, he actually... I mean, what happens if he... So, yeah, there is the win from Tom Ross. Draconic Roar finishes off. What if Kenji had blocked Death Mist with Dromica? He gains the life. Dromica dies, but he gains the life. He can replace Dromica.
So he gains 5 instead of losing 3, but he's settling for replacing Dromica.
Yeah,
that actually seems reasonable. I don't know if that's the right play, but it is actually kind of reasonable.
I mean, and maybe it's the psychic play. Like, we got to see how it played out, and we could see Tom's hand. But if you give Kenji 8 life swing, and he doesn't have the ability to just find the top deck the land, or like top almost deck the land for the Courser for a Tarka for the win, but he doesn't die to one random burn spell the way he actually did.
Yeah, he has less of a great draw, but less risk also, which gives him more chance. So it might actually have been better.
Yeah, he didn't seem to think about that block, but I was trying to work it through in my head, and he just immediately took the 3. Interesting. All right, now we saw this matchup once in the first round already. I don't remember sideboarding changing it all that much. We can look at the deck list, though.
I think sideboarding is better for Tom than it is for the Naya Dragons deck, just because 2 Plummets is pretty significant. Chandra Pyromaster was pretty decent, and Mob Rule sounds interesting at least.
Yes.
Plummet's the main thing, because now you actually have an answer to Dromica.
Yeah, and Tom was having lots of fun with Barrage of Boulders shenanigans in the first round as well. Now we can look at Kenji's list. Oh, or we can go down to the match. Even better. Chat is asking why I get the Hall of Fame logo and you get the 52 here, Luis.
I think it's because that's the space where we put our greatest accomplishment, and me being 52nd in the Player of the Year race, I think it's pretty clear.
They were debating whether it means that you turned 52 years old today, or whether you had 52 burritos today.
Both are fairly implausible, I think, but or that I donated 52 cents to Paul's stream. Actually, Paul had to change his minimum donation because I kept donating 50 cents. He had to up it to $2 because otherwise it's like too much in fees.
Always the troll. Tom takes a mulligan into a hand that's not great, but do what you got to do. I mean, Tom's hand actually does nothing until he draws more land. But basically, he's either going to draw land or he's going to draw things to do early. There's like 6 bad cards in his deck for that hand, one of which is on top of his library.
Yeah, luckily he gets to bin that.
Oh, did Kenji also mulligan?
He did.
There's his hand off to the left.
But Kenji's hand is pretty good here.
Yeah. All right, that is the full hand, so both players mulliganing.
At least Deathwish Raptor can be morphed.
True. Wow, Corsair finds a land immediately.
So Kenji went for the greed there. He played the land off top. He could have played the tap land and guaranteed he'd play a Whisperwood next turn, but instead he went for the extra cards. Kind of interesting, because that is definitely a choice here.
Yeah, if Kenji misses an untapped land with his next draw phase, then he doesn't get to play Whisperwood. He has to settle for what? Caryatid and Mystic?
Yeah,
greed was rewarded.
Instead he got paid off big time.
Indeed. You saying that greed was the incorrect strategy there?
I would have been inclined to not run that. I think getting Whisperwood out on turn 3 is so much better, or turn 4 is so much better that I would rather just do that and not try to draw an extra card, as loath as I am to admit it. But this clearly worked out better.
Yep, there is the turn 4 Whisperwood. Spitting off a Manifest, and wow, Tom doesn't have an answer for Whisperwood in his hand, even with a full turn to try to deal with it.
Yeah, and Whisperwood is the kind of card that can just take over the game very, very quickly.
Which is why you wanted to make sure you played it on turn 4, right? It certainly can be tough to play a land from hand, especially if it comes into play tapped land when there's a land on top of your library and you have Courser. Thunderbreak Regent is the play from Tom.
So command means that Whisperwood can just attack, and if Tom double blocks, I guess you just have to command and trade for both, or just trade for Thunderbreak. Alternately, you can just not attack.
Seeing a clearer path now.
Looks like it. The problem is if you command before attacking, then you give up the attack, because then Tom is just going to block with his morph.
You give up the attack with a Whisperwood. You clear a path for everything else.
Yeah, you get to attack for 4 with your other creatures. So that actually 6 even if you attack
6.
with the Xenaghost.
Right.
Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and attack with Whisperwood. See if Tom's going to block in such a way that he can blow him out with command. What is this?
So Tom,
Blocking command?
no, this is after blocks. You're just going to deal 5. You
Oh.
might as well, if you're going to do this anyway.
After Tom declines to block, so Kenji wants the +1/+1 counter before he deals damage. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Does take the 3 from Dragon. Thunderbreak, though. Now what? Then it goes.
Could plus it and just drop 2 more things. But
Or make a Satyr. And a
yeah, it's going to be tough for Tom to come back from this. He can play Storm Breath. I guess all the 2/2s in the world don't run through a Storm Breath quite yet. Storm Breath can
getting close.
Yeah, they are getting close. Storm Breath can devour the Planeswalker if Tom wants. Looks like
And play defense.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to run Thunderbreak plus Elf for that reason. Ooh, another command.
For next turn, though, not this turn.
Yeah, I don't love the attacking with Whisperwood right now. If one of those manifests hit anything, I guess we saw what those manifests were. They were not anything particularly exciting.
So how does Kenji play this now? Just like put 4 more creatures into play and say go? Oh, he's not going to get that Dramoka's command. He doesn't get to draw it because he's going to be manifest.
Oh, he's going to Whisperwood it. So there's no. Ooh,
or right-click attack all. Kind of like
this is probably a good attack because if Whisperwood gets double blocked, then
everything else getting through. Yeah.
Then Elvish Mystic blocks the Rattleclaw Mystic, and then you take like 10. So yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, this looks like it gets through for at least 8, right? 8 is, I think, the minimum Tom's going to take from this attack.
Yeah, this is pretty problematic. Tom takes 11 going into 2 here.
Indeed. Looks like he's going to take 11. So Tom's at 2, and he's down to just a Thunderbreak. Whereas Kenji can play a Courser and another Mystic.
Might as well scry that command on the bottom.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, he pushes it. Oh, he's going to Whisperwood for a Whisperwood.
Which I don't think Tom has any outs anyway, but...
Crazy. Looking like we're going to game 3 here. Indeed. Tom packs them up, so... Couple of game 3s here in the semis. Owen needed 3 games to beat Brad, pulling up his normal spot in the finals. That's his 5th final in 7 weeks. Is that true? I think that's true.
Yeah.
I believe it is Owen's 5th final in 7 weeks. He's currently 3.
He lost in the finals once. He's making the finals, or won 3 times, and now has made the finals again.
Crazy. Tom and Kenji have got put up their fair share of wins. I mean, Kenji's obviously playing for Paul. These guys are on 75 and 70 points coming in, so they've done their fair share of winning too.
Yeah, this is a big match. 2 people with very similar amounts of points. So,
I mean, they both won 7 matches over the course of the season to this point, but Paul collected 3 of his together to get the 5-point bonus for winning a week.
right. Tom's got a bit of a clunky hand here. Though Kenji's hand isn't fantastic either. I'd be inclined to keep... Well, I don't even know. On the draw, you really need to hit a Caryatid. Yeah, this hand looks a lot better. If Kenji can draw a Caryatid or an Elvish Mystic, then I think he's in really good shape here. If he can't, he's going to get his first creature, Draconic Roar, but Tom might not have plays for a long time. I mean, Tom's hand is a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, a 5-drop, and a 6-drop in 2 lands.
Kenji sees a forest. Dueling Scrylands. There's the 3rd lane for Tom.
All right, so this is the turn where Kenji needs a Caryatid. No, he hits Rattleclaw, so now he's going to get Draconic Roared, and then Tom's going to play face down Den Protector. This is looking tough for Kenji. Though if Tom misses his 4th land and can't play Thunderbreak, then that will help.
There's no turn 3 play here for Kenji. All he gets to do is scry.
Yeah, Den Protector is really good against Xenagos here, though.
Do you want Elvish Mystic or no?
I would be inclined to keep it, but, well, you're going to play Xenagos next turn, maybe not.
Happy not for Xenagos next turn, so he pushed it. Crater's Claws is Tom's draw. It's not land number 4.
No, but Tom's still in pretty good shape here. He gets to hit for 2, play another face-down creature, and then Kenji plays Xenagos, makes a token, and then Tom goes flip, Draconic Warrior token, attack you for 1,000,000. Like, Tom's just going to kill Kenji with a bunch of Den Protectors. I don't think he has to do anything else this game.
Makes sense. Here comes Xenagos. And a Satyr. But yeah, even without the land, and now Tom has the 4th land. I guess now he has to decide whether he wants to flip Xenagos or flip Den Protector in order to kill Xenagos or play Thunderbreak. Gotta kill Xenagos, right?
Yeah, I like flipping. You also get to attack for 5 this turn.
Well, 3 of it because it's Xenagos, but yeah.
Well, plus the Draconic Roar. So you end up still hitting for 5 total.
Sure.
Yeah, just having that Thunderbreak in hand is 6 more damage this game. Tom's like just gonna win with burn spells and Den Protectors. Like, I don't think he's got to do anything else. Flip Den Protector.
He's doing nothing this turn except playing Elvish Mystic and leaving up Valorous Stance.
Flip Den Protector, Roar, then game.
It sounds about right. There's Flip Den Protector. There's Roar. That is 3, 6, 9 damage. The boss, Tom Ross, said, you know, I got to play Brian Kibler. I haven't really played this Green Red Dragons deck. My buddy Chris has been working on it for a while. Valorous Stance defends the elf, but it doesn't matter. It can't block a Den Protector, so still 9 damage. Still the boss through to the finals. Green Red Dragons. Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I like how that played out. That was a beatdown of a draw. That was pretty sweet.
It was. Pretty interesting stuff. So it's going to be Owen against Tom.
Sounds pretty good.
Well, we will try to get a quick word with Tom while we get set up for the finals against Owen. Stay tuned, guys. We are going to be right back We've got one match left tonight. We're going to find out whether Owen Turtenwald can win his 4th week or whether Tom Ross can finally close the deal. 8 wins and counting, but he's not quite ever managed to get 3 of them into the same week. Stay tuned.